Okay, for these years that I am prime minister, I have to be only prime minister and focus only on that. I mean, that's a route to madness.
Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David. This is Boo. Today is my birthday, and I want one and only one thing for my birthday, and that's to see Justin Trudeau in jail. Can we make this birthday wish of mine happen? Somehow I don't think so. Not today, but maybe soon. Today we've got Justin Trudeau in an interview where he is asked about quitting. The man is nuts. He is absolutely nuts. He is out to lunch, a full-blown narcissist. We've also got his den of thieves, a bunch of them. A bunch of liars just running their mouths with outrageous responses. You won't believe some of this stuff. So let's get into this. So we got this clip here of Justin Trudeau. He's asked about quitting. I should say this guy here, I believe he is a psychologist at a prestigious university, not just some random guy with some fresh kicks.
A rise of autocracies, there's all this going on. There's no complacency in this job.
You're describing some of the many things that make this one of the hardest jobs on earth. And it's unbelievable to me that it comes with so little training. But here you are doing this job every day. How do you deal with the ongoing thoughts about, do I want to keep doing this? I know you've gone on record saying you think about quitting approximately every day.
Yeah, I think that's part of a process where if you're going to be honest about doing a job like this, that has the responsibilities and the impact that it has, you have to check, maybe not every day, but you have to check that you're up for it, that you're all in every given day. Because people out there, the 40 million people that I am directly responsible for serving, deserve a leader that is focused on them with everything they have every single day. And that sort of check on, am I able to do that? Am I motivating my team to do that? Am I driving that forward? Am I fully all in, even though I've been in it for a year?
What is this guy rambling about? Is this all in? We've got 1 in 4 Canadians can't feed themselves properly. They're malnourished, they're skipping meals. This is it. This is all in, Trudeau. Harper handed you a country that was in good shape. Our GDP has gone down. Our country's in shambles. We've got people living in tents. We've got companies leaving. We've got doctors leaving. We've got big businesses leaving. We've got big tech leaving. This guy knows how to talk a lot of talk and do absolutely nothing but hurt this country. And what was with that weird rage face? What? The way they edited that, they chopped a piece off. That wasn't me. I just played that straight through. They chopped some part of the interview off.
Team to do that. Am I driving that forward? Am I?
This. What is going on, Trudeau? Easy there, Satan. Kim Jong-un called. He's looking for a second in command.
Fully all in. Even though I've been in it for a few years, even though it's harder now than it was before, even though my opponent's getting traction for all the wrong reasons, all the wrong reasons. Pierre Poilievre is just telling it straight. He's giving people hope and wants to make Canada better. This guy is just unbelievable. All the wrong reasons. Name one. What wrong reason is there? Different things. If they're enough to make you say, yeah, no, maybe, then you shouldn't be doing it. I learned this being a teacher, where I would, work hard all day, come home absolutely exhausted, but so excited about what the next day was going to bring. When you find a job that charges you up like that, where you are deeply excited about doing it, no matter how hard it gets, and
I'm a little confused here, Trudeau. If you could give us a little bit more information about when you were a teacher and what you were teaching and how that all happened. I don't know what happened with you as a teacher. You seem to have quit in the middle of the year. That seems to be public knowledge. There's no record of you working at the Point Grey school, even though you're the prime minister. You'd think they would advertise that on the school as the prime minister was a teacher here. So what exactly happened with you being a teacher at that school, Trudeau? I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Could you tell us, Trudeau?
Aware of the awesome responsibility and impact that you get to have, then it's sort of intellectually honest to check in with yourself regularly.
How often do you actually think about quitting?
This guy, sometimes he gives these softball questions, and sometimes he's just like, wham.
These days, not at all. There was a moment last year as I was facing some difficult moments in my marriage where I really wondered, okay, is there a path? And I just...
You see that little cut there? I didn't do that. That's in their edit. There was a path cut. I'm wondering what he said. Let's just go back.
As I was facing some difficult moments in my marriage where I really wondered, okay, is there a path? And
is there a path to save my marriage if I stop being prime minister? That's what I think he's going to say. Either that, or is there a path to steal more of Canadians' dollars? And we all know he likes doing that too.
And I just realized that's not me. There is so much to do still, and the stakes are higher in some ways for our democracies than ever before. The need to try and hold things together in a rational discourse around doing things that are meaningful and are going to nudge the arc of the moral universe forward matters so much that I couldn't be the person I am, the fighter I am, and say, yeah, no, this particular fight, I'm walking away.
The fighter, really? What have you done? Were you going to talk about the shiny pony charity boxing match you had? This guy actually thinks he's actually fought for anything in his life. He's had everything handed to him on a silver spoon.
No, I can't do that yet.
You look like you're having fun in your job more often than I would expect, given all the stressors of the work.
Yeah.
But I don't want leaders to have too much fun. And
he totally baited at him. Trudeau's like, oh yeah, I'm having fun.
I think about some evidence that guilt-prone leaders are actually more effective because they're more likely to think about mistakes they made and try to right wrongs, as opposed to just sleeping well every night. Talk to me about what guilt feels like in this role, because I don't like being responsible for 4 people, let alone 40 million.
Anytime you see me having fun, I'm connecting with people. Like, I'm doing things where people are having genuine interactions, and that's real. The work I do here at this desk, the debates in chamber, the things like that, that can be a bit of a grind. I mean,
when he said that, look at his feet and his hands. Poilievre's getting to him. Just when he says it again, watch his hands and watch his feet. He's like very tight. Just thinking about battling Poilievre, getting wrecked by Poilievre in the House.
The debates in chamber, the things like that. That can be a bit of a grind. I mean, that's sort of the salt.
He stuffed his hands under his legs and then his feet tensed up like this. Poilievre is getting under his skin.
Solitary work, or the teamwork around the cabinet table, figuring things out, wrestling with big decisions and stuff. That's not always fun. You've always got to think about the opportunity cost, what the consequences are. Just being aware of the weight of these decisions is fine, but also not putting on yourself a level of expectations to be perfect all the time. I mean, so many politicians spend all their time saying, oh, I can't make any mistakes. If you can be authentic, and the one thing that I tend to fall back on is, I think Canadians have a pretty good sense of where my values are, what I'm trying to fight for. I'm trying to build a more inclusive, positive society in which everyone has a fair chance, and we're
a fair chance to live in a tent on the street, have their career destroyed, to be forced out of a job because they won't be a part of some experimental situation, to watch their businesses crumble because of poor decisions that's crushing this country. I don't know what this guy's core values are, aside from money and money. He's crushing 40 million people into the ground. He lost his wife. Like, what does he care about? It's just money, that money and power. He's a narcissist. I mean, look at the guy. He talks with power hands all the time. These are the hands like you're going to use when you grab like a skull, a weapon. These are power hands. Look at any dictator in the past. They talk with hands like that. The average person does not. And even if someone's a hand talker, they're pointing. It's not like
fair chance, and I'm sure do some suboptimal things in this policy or that. But when the crisis hits, when a challenge hits, I'll, as we all do, revert to our core values and our core instincts. I think that's important. In regards to sleep, that's one of my rules. I sleep about 8 or 9 hours every night. I exercise as much as I can. I eat well. I play well with my kids with.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to sleep 9 hours and eat well. Eating well is expensive now, Trudeau, and sleeping 9 hours, a lot of people don't have that privilege or luxury anymore, big guy.
With friends, getting that balance of being a real person and not saying, okay, for these years that I am prime minister, I have to be only prime minister and focus only on that. I mean, that's a route to madness, and still be me that finds joy even in after difficult moments, and getting that balance of allowing myself to be a real whole person with good days and bad days and successes and challenges, I think grounds and uplifts you at the same time.
Tell us more about these good days. I haven't seen any of these good days, Trudeau. Was that the one day you legalized the green Luigi for all the people who wanted that? Is that the one good day? There hasn't been a single good day in 9 years with this guy's prime minister. So yeah, Captain Schmuck there, he's lost his mind. He's off his rocker. He talks about values, and it's just like everything he does hurts us. And he knows it hurts us. Oh, it's a suboptimal day. It's just one of those one-off suboptimal days. Yeah, right, buddy. We got this clip here of Chrystia Freeland. Says when questioned about why Canadians should listen to the government right now, Chrystia Freeland starts talking about the C word, Russia, and energy prices.
What makes you think Canadians are listening to you and anything your government is saying right now?
Because we are acting on the issues that matter the most to Canadians. Like, this is a very challenging time for Canadians. We have all collectively been through an incredibly challenging economic time for Canada and the world.
And it feels like the success of polling is showing Canadians are looking for a change.
We have been through an incredibly challenging time for Canada and the world. We had COVID, we had the lockdowns, we had the Russian invasion of Ukraine, we had the global energy shock. We know that things are hard. Historic measures to build the Canadian economy, like the 4 investment tax credits that are going to be passed into law this month, historic. We wake up in the morning, we sit in the House of Commons until midnight, sometimes we wake up in the middle of the night, really thinking about how this is a tough time. This is a historic time. It's a consequential time for Canada and for the world.
This is hilarious. She thinks we believe that. You guys aren't sitting up there in the middle of the night worrying about the whole situation. Oh, Canadians, you guys are sitting on your golden thrones. You don't give a crap about us. Let's get real.
And our focus is, what are the biggest problems Canadians are facing, and what can we do to help Canadians get through this? That's where our focus is.
The focus is, who's the other Randy? How about that? Let's start there. Who's the other Randy? Short version, if her focus was on really helping Canadians, they would accept accountability for their disastrous mismanagement and resign immediately. Never ever a straight answer from her or the Liberals. Yep. This clip here, we've got Anita Anand. She basically says here, we're not focused on the polls. Yeah, right.
You're 20 points behind in the polls. You started out sitting 14 points behind. What are you going to do this summer to turn things around?
Well, the goals are clearly laid out in Budget 2024. We're going to continue to work for Canadians and to alleviate the pressures that they are feeling because of rising prices and the high cost of living.
But no matter what you've done so far, it doesn't seem to be
Actually,
landing.
we're not focused on the polls. We're focused on the fact that we need to continue to put forward dental care, pharmacare, housing supports.
So personally, none of those programs will help me at all. And the carbon tax hurts me. Everything they do hurts my life. I'm sure some of those programs maybe help some Canadians, but why not just be honest and say, yeah, we're looking at the polls, we're not happy with it, we're trying our best. Like, why not just have some honesty for once? Obviously, you guys are looking at the polls daily. You're not just going to pretend and not look at it. You can never focus on the polls while looting the treasury. Have they closed their eyes and hope it goes away? Well, they should be. This is a democracy, isn't it? Oh, yeah. We've got this clip here. It says the government has listed the IRGC as a T-word organization. But don't worry, Iranian nationals living in Canada can still fund T-word activities as long as they don't know where the funding is going. Now, you might think that this is an exaggeration of the clip. It's not. This is quite literally what he says.
Exemptions for people who were forced. Are there any exemptions for people who had to join the IRGC because they were as part of their mandatory service and who perhaps fled and came to Canada? It's something that The government said in the past they were concerned about.
And we remain concerned about it, and that's why, as Dominic mentioned at the outset, we've been very careful and measured in terms of our approach. It's a complex situation, particularly in a country as diverse as ours, when you have diaspora communities that come from all corners of the world. The element of financial support of a now listed terrorist entity requires an element of intention that is elevated. And the intention needs to be that people understand and know where their funds are going to, and that they intend that they be used for the advancing of the terrorist activity's interests. If an individual was conscripted at one point in time and no longer serves with the IRGC, that would affect the analysis and inform the analysis. If the person who is sending the money does not know what it is going to be used for and is in fact kept in the dark about that information, that would also affect the analysis.
It's unreal, man. Meanwhile, liberal traders get a free pass. Oh, you mean like when they went after everyone that donated to the truckers? Ooh, yeah. Got this clip here of Stephen Guilbeault. It says he denies that the government is imposing a production cap on oil and gas, suggesting that the government is merely listening to the oil and gas companies' desire to be carbon neutral. This is so ridiculous.
And all we're doing with the oil and gas emissions cap is taking companies at their word. They said they wanted to be carbon neutral by 2050, and what we're doing with these regs is we ensure that no one waits until 2048 to start putting in place the measures that are necessary to be carbon neutral by 2050.
So you still don't believe that it is an emissions cap, not a production cap?
We wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, we don't have jurisdiction over the use of natural resources by provinces and territories.
Guilbeault is such a joker. I mean, when it comes down to it, the oil and gas companies are sitting on the sidelines. They're just like, oh yeah, sure, we'll do the green stuff. They're just going to wait until Poilievre wins, and they're not even going to bother. That's what they're doing. They don't give a crap about Guilbeault. They don't take him serious. Guilbeault specializes in deflection and word salad. He must be a proud socialist. This guy alone will drive Canada into the poorhouse. Where is all the extra billions in carbon tax they collected? Next up, we got this one here. Taxpayer burden. Canada's EV strategy could cost taxpayers $6 billion, more than private companies are investing, Watchdog says. Next up, we got this post here. It says 500,000 immigrants could eventually get U.S. citizenship under the new plan from Biden. His comment here, please, that's an average Wednesday in Canada. Definitely rookie numbers. That's 6 hours of inbound flights from India at Pearson. So next up, I thought I'd share this. It's some world news. It's pretty important. We've got Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin making a deal. So Kim Jong-un has too many missiles and nothing else, and Vladimir Putin wants a bunch more missiles, so he's going to help him economically, and he's going to help him with the boom boom sticks.
Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have signed a comprehensive strategic partnership during a summit in Pyongyang in a bid to expand their economic and military cooperation and cement a united front against Washington. The two leaders spoke face-to-face for about 2 hours in a meeting that was originally planned for just 1 hour. Putin's visit comes amid growing concerns about an arms deal that would see Pyongyang provide Moscow with badly needed munitions. This
is not good news. This is bad news.
In exchange for economic assistance and technology transfers that could enhance the threat posed by Kim's nuclear weapons and missile program.
Not really liking where that's going. Kim Jong-un doesn't need any more technology whatsoever. They need to stay in the dark ages where they're at. Last thing we want to see here is Putin letting out the boogeyman. Kim Jong-un is not old either. He's pretty young. Like, he's going to be hanging around for a long time. Next up, we got this clip here. It says thousands of Edmonton Oilers sing "Oh Canada" without Trudeau's woke changes. It's nice to hear the Canadian national anthem, some patriotic Canadians, not the banging of the drums and all that stuff we've been hearing for months and months and months. Alberta is the last outpost of Canada and Canadian culture. Yeah, this really is the truth. Next up, we got this clip here. It says some eco-activists spraying orange paint on Stonehenge. This thing is like 5,000 years old. So there's no audio on this thing. This is absurd. I think this is the kind of thing, this is beyond jail time. Like, I think they got to go old school on this one and take off a hand or something, because this is not cool. Like, this is an ancient ruin. These people need to be in jail for like 10 years apiece or something. Like, it's... You can see here, it looks like just normal people trying to pull them off. Crazy. This person says 3 years imprisonment for defacing anything historic minimum. They should be forced to live a year without any oil products. These people belong in mental hospitals. Next up, we got this short clip here from Elon Musk. He says, we're living in the most interesting time in history.
I think we're at the most interesting time in history. So, you know, that's supposedly some proverb that says, you know, may you live in interesting times as a curse. And we live in the most interesting of times. So, but I mean, the way I've reconciled myself to the negative outcome with AI is that I thought, well, let's say even if it was the worst case scenario and we're going to be annihilated, would I want to be around to see it? And I'm like, probably yes. Okay. So, fatalism.
It's funny, it's true. You would want, at least, I don't know, you want to see it. If it's going to happen, yeah. Alrighty, jumping over to my group here. What memes do we have today? Wanted for treason, Stephen Guilbeault, Stephen Green Grifter Guilbeault, by reason of knowingly damaging the economy by costing families $1,200 or more in annual carbon taxes and calling it a rebate. We need to start printing these out and just putting them all around town. That would be hilarious. Every city has got this. I'm going to make wanted posters for all the liberals and put all their crimes on the bottom. I think that would be hilarious if there's every street light pole, every street pole, everything has a wanted sign for liberals. Oh, there's another one down here. Someone's already done it. Wanted for treason, Chrystia Freeland, aka the Wicked Witch of the left, by reason of destroying the Canadian economy. True dictator. This is fitting for today's episode. End property tax at 65. Let seniors stay in their homes. This is a great idea. Like, what is property tax? You have to pay tax on something you own outright? What is that? This is like, really, you get 65, property tax gone. Like, what a great support for seniors in retirement. I'm all on board about that. I think it's a great idea. This guy says here, you should be able to choose where your tax goes to. You thought no one could screw up like Justin? Hold my martini. Yeah. Imagine if she's prime minister. Oh, it would be equally, if maybe not even worse. I don't know if anyone can be worse than Justin. It'd be pretty bad. Here's a custom crosswalk sign. Imagine if somebody painted that, especially in Ottawa, right outside his office. Remember when everyone knew pro wrestling was fake and they finally admitted it and the fans didn't care and continued to watch it anyways? We're almost there with politics and the media. Yeah. Trudeau in negotiations with Ford to replace all police trucks with the WF trans-friendly electric vehicles. Threat to all Canadians. This is a t-shirt. Guilty of carbon tax cover-up, Stephen Guilbeault, he must resign. Daddy doesn't live here anymore, a book about divorce. I recognize this from when I was a kid. There's Trudeau's head on there with Sophie. What's this big black guy? Was it Mr. T? I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. Keep Canada lame again. Yeah, pretty much. This is Chrystia Freeland. It's just getting more and more savage. The last one was that penguin from Batman or whatever. That's where we're going to wrap up this episode. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought about that Trudeau interview. We've got all his cronies lying. They're all ridiculous. They're all a bunch of clowns, bunch of jokers. You can't even just point at one of them. Where's Randy? Which Randy is it? Is it the other Randy? Thanks for watching the end of the video here. I greatly appreciate all of you. Be sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, all that good stuff. If you want to check out, I have a hiking adventure video on my other channel where I go up a steep mountain, get some cool drone shots. It's the biggest mountain in the middle of Vancouver Island. If you want to check that out, I'll link it up right here. We'll keep fighting for freedom. I'll see you guys on the next one.